Yo, what's good? I'm Chad Johnson. Come on, bro. You know the #1 breaker in the game right now is Rajon at 204, man. He's the one and only card father. Mic drop. 204 breaks is fire all day.
Rated Rajon, it ain't no mistake. Pulling nothing but fire. 204 breaks, yeah. Live streaming, got the internet ablaze. Hey, Rated Rajon, 204 breaks. Rare sports cars, one of one, so clean. Flawless, national treasures you never seen. Rookie cards, rookie autographs, you already know. Everything sports, MJ, Tom Brady, all the GOATs. Hey, Rated Rajon, let's go.
Alright guys, how's it going? Okay, so we have a 3-box Upper Deck Hockey Random Team Mixer Break, number 523. I'm just gonna double check and make sure that the audio is okay. Start, so give me 1 second. Check. How you guys doing? Never mind. Hear myself, so we're good. Okay. Alright, let's get started. So this is our first look at EX 2000. Not really a super popular product. Maybe some people with who's nostalgic with the Skybox sets from the 90s are probably gonna are probably more excited for this set than anything else. It's a sealed case, so you can see. I'm gonna open it. Yeah, I'll show you the seal for the case regardless. We're not doing the full case, but it's like 1867 sealed case. I'll open it sideways for you. I'm just gonna grab a box out of here. So it's literally 2 boxes of Series 2 and then 1 box of EX 2000. Just our first look. Like I said, if you're not familiar with the 90s Skybox sets, preferably basketball, then probably won't be ready for this. But if you are, and it's something that, you know, it's from your childhood or from your early days of collecting cards, then this is something exciting. So there is autographs in here, but there's never anything guaranteed. And all cards are shipping, guys. So there's like 48 cards in here. So everything's shipping. A lot of inserts and stuff to look for. Numbered cards, numbered parallels, and hopefully some autographs. And hopefully we see this guy. So basically, yeah, that's our look at. Let's see if we can come up with that in that one. So we'll do that one last. We'll do the first 2 boxes of Series 2. The 3-part box mix. Here we go. Good luck. Teams are listed on the left side of the screen, and also everyone's been tagged in the breaks. Up these boxes first. Anybody in the group want to say hello? Oh, there's David. There's Kieran finally. Sorry, guys. I didn't notice you guys had commented. Thank you. If everyone on the other platforms wondering who I'm replying to, Facebook. I can see Facebook chat. So if you're watching on TikTok or Kick or Twitch, YouTube, shoot on down to our Facebook group that's where you can buy your spots for the breaks. And I can reply to all your comments there. But if not, say hello anyway in the TikTok and I'll reply when I can. What's going on, Karen? How you doing, Dave? How you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? There's half a box. What has been up to, huh? What you guys been up to for today? How about them Jets, Barclay? I'm really, I don't want to sound... Okay, here's my take on it. So, last year when the Jets were, they were playing decent last year. What's going on, Gary? What's going on, brother? Long time no see. But here's my take on the Jets. So, I don't want to sound like a I don't want to sound like a weird Jet fan, but last year I was happy with the how they were playing in the regular season, and they picked up some good players at the end there to try and give them that push in the playoffs. I guess call them rentals, right? But I wasn't too confident in them. I obviously I don't want to disappoint myself or whatever, and just be like, oh yeah, they're gonna take it all or whatever. But I have a really, really good feeling. I watch on YouTube on my big screen and comment here on Facebook. That's pretty good. Is it a lot clearer on YouTube? But anyways, as I was saying, I don't know about the Leafs Jets Cups final. That would be pretty epic. I mean, at least you know a Canadian team's gonna win it, and it's a win-win for the country, right? But back to what I was saying. This year's a little bit different. I think the chemistry and just it's kind of like the same core of players, and coming in and just knowing that they got bounced the first round, I think that gives you just a little more hungrier of an edge. Like you're just more hungry, right? Because you don't want to, like, they started off the season like without skipping a beat. Like they, you know. Good luck to you too, Dave. You know what I mean. So that's why I feel like this. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I do have a feeling they're gonna they're gonna give it a deep run this time in the playoffs. I mean, there's still a chance they can get bounced the first round, but I'm hoping that they get far. They've worked their butts off. Even if them being like the top team in the league for a good majority of the season, a lot of people don't really recognize them because they're in such a small market. They're when people are talking about power rankings and like, who's going to do well in the playoffs. And I do understand that the playoffs are obviously like a new season, obviously, but no one's counting them in. Like, no one's really giving them their credit or their flowers for what they did this year, especially Hellebuck. Like, everyone's talking about McKinnon and Draisaitl for like the MVP. You got to have Hellebuck in that situation. Like, you got to remember, Carey Price was I think he was the last goalie that won the Hart Trophy. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, correct me. And he's having a way better year than Carey Price did that year. So I mean, just him not being in the hard conversation is a little bit how you can see how, like, when nobody really cares for Winnipeg in NHL. It's like they're just so disregarded. Nobody really watches them. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. All right, let's get started with the break, everybody. Remember, these are just my opinions. Like, there's nothing. I'm not saying I'm right or it's just my opinion, and obviously, my opinion doesn't matter to anyone. So. All right, Kaprizov. Our first young gun is a Matt Steinberg for Colorado, and then we got Kaprizov again. Wait, what's the difference? Oh, one's a speckle and one isn't. I didn't realize that. All right, we got Joel Eriksson Ek on the canvas for Minnesota. There's a Panarin renewed, and then Utah on tour. Good luck, everybody. All right, Wyatt Johnson for the Stars. Our next young gun is another one for the Avalanche. It's Nikita Prishchapov. And we got Pekka Luukkonen for the Sabres. We got an outburst to Shesterkin, a Jackson Blake for the Hurricanes, and Jack Eichel for the Golden Knights. Rest is base. So yeah, that's my take on the Jets. You love Luke Schenn. Well, Luke Schenn was your boy before, right? He was on the Leafs, wasn't he, before Barclay? Canvas. Philip Gustafson going to the Wild. Then there's a Gudis for the Ducks and UC Saros. What a goalie's been coming up. Pasternak. There's a Connor Geeky for the Lightning. And then Matt Boldy, Minnesota. We have a black and white canvas, and it's a young gun of Victor Mancini for the Rangers. And then we got on tour for the Leafs and Zegras for the Ducks. Oh, we got a clear. Oh, no, it's not a clear cut. It's a pop count. 1,000 Gavin Brindley for the Jackets. And then there's a Travis Sanheim and a Mayu and a Lane Hudson on the Young Guns teammates. And a Samuel Urson for the Flyers. There's 4 hits in it. A 4-banger. All right, this is the last of the first box. Drake Batherson for the Sens. There's a Vasilevsky renewed. Quinn Hughes for Vancouver. Quinn Hughes. All right, there's Cole Caulfield, a Barkov Young Gun renewed for Florida. Missing something? Those only 2 hits. Hold on. Oh, yeah, look. The Connor Garland, sorry, exclusives, 19 out of 100. Good, I double-checked. I double-checked that one. I was like, wait a minute, there's only 2 hits in there. All right, next. We got a Adam Pelech for Isles, Andre Lee for the Kings, and a Jake Ottinger for Dallas. Canvas, Mikko Rantanen for Colorado. There's a Buffalo Sabres on tour. And welcome aboard, Samuel Honzek for the Flames. Sammy Honzek. Just for sure, I got his jersey and he came back at the deadline 2 years ago. Alright, that box is pretty quiet. There's not really much out of that one box. Next box. You're going to get those, though. Fluorescence, Gavin Brindley again. John Carlson for the Caps. Travis Konecny for the Flyers. There is a on tour. Pedersen and Hughes for Vancouver. There's a Michkov and Fedotov for Philly. And a Luchenko for Philly as well. Canvas, Rosie Vachon for the Kings, OG. And Matthew Tkachuk for Calgary and Zach Bolduc. Alright, Pasternak. Nico Hischier for the Devils. Wait, I think the Pasternak's a black parallel. Yeah, it is a black parallel. Nico Hischier and then Jake Ottinger for Dallas. Series 2 boxes have been pretty quiet. Or, I mean, well, we're not done this one yet, but so far it's been quiet. Alright, Maple Leafs on tour. There's another Victor Mancini, this time the regular Young Gun for the Rangers, and then Michkov. Welcome aboard, Michkov, or whatever you want. Canvas, Charlie Lindgren going to the Capitals. There's a Nick Suzuki from Montreal. And J-Rob for Dallas. We got our Outburst, Pasternak. Wow. Nice one for Boston. There's a Missul for the Devils. Ovi for Washington. He's probably going to break the record this year. Bye. Canvas, Roman Josi for Nashville. There's a Lucas Raymond and a Peter Mrazek. All right, John Carlson and a Celebrini and Will Smith Young Gun teammates for the Sharks. Celebrini, the regular Celebrini. Well, you know what? Let's go through this pile first. Jack Hughes. All right, Honzek again. Ivan for Colorado. That's 3 Young Guns for Colorado. And Mark Stone for the Golden Knights. Canvas, Jake Neighbors for the Blues. We got a Mikko Rantanen and Anna. Look at that. And you have the renewed. Oilers on tour. 3-0 lead right now. And the last pack, we got Brendan Brisson for the Golden Knights. Drew Commesso for the Hawks. Sammy Montembault going to the Montreal Canadiens. Those 2 boxes were, they weren't that great. I'll be real honest. Not going to lie. They weren't that great. But you're going to get those. Remember, we just opened a fresh case. 4 boxes out. Still no regular Young Gun of, what's his name? Michkov or Celebrini. So they're still live in the case, if they're in the case. And most likely they are. So it's still live, guys. So if Tempe or I are going to be posting some boxes of Series 2, just know they're from the same case and it's still live. So they're still in the case. All right, EX2000. Here's our first look. All cards are shipping out of this, guys. No base is staying. So every card you see out of this box is going to be shipped. Fortunately, I can't say the same about Series 2 because that's a lot of base cards. All right, there we go. Empty box. All right, so since this is our first look, I'm going to be a little more sluggish with this one. So I'm going to go slow, see what it is. 2 cards. Kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, a small pack. Like Tim Hortons or something. Oh, wow, look at this. Index Movers. Index Movers. Logan Thompson for the Golden Knights. That. Burnt out. Hold on, give me a second. Let me turn on my light. Definitely gross. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, that box was not the greatest. All right, or those two boxes. All right, Seth Jones for the Hawks. So, I guess this is the base, I guess. Nice, though. Very nice. Okay, that aside. All right. Next pack. Second pack, let's see. I'll be a little more careful. I didn't realize the die cut was going to be like that. Nikolai Ehlers for the Jets and a star. What is this? Star date 3000? Alex DeBrincat. Star date 3 for the Red Wings. Okay, so that one is. And then Nick Ehlers, this is a different color, so is this numbered? Oh, I guess that's still the base card, I guess. Nikolai Ehlers. These cards are nice, though. Okay, next. Who's this? Kaprizov. And our die cut index movers is David Jiricek. So no numbering on this one. I didn't notice. Or maybe they're just different colors accustomed to their team. Kaprizov. For the Wild. Hopefully we can get an autograph. It'd be nice. Ooh, star date Austin Matthews on the back. EX 1000. No numbering. Kind of rough. And Zegras for the Ducks. All right, ooh, All or Nothing on the back. Connor McDavid. All or Nothing. No numbering, though. Very nice. I don't know how rare that is. But... And then we got Jonathan Marchessault for the Golden Knights. I'm always flipping it to the back to see if there's any numbering or something I missed. It's like they're just different colored base. There's no levels to it, I guess. All right, another Stardate 3000. We got Nathan McKinnon and his teammate, Cale Makar. Colorado. Double Colorado hit there. So far, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. All right, we got an Evan Bouchard index moves on the back. And we got a Sebastian Aho for Carolina. So far, nothing really impressing me about this box. But okay, let's see what we have here. All right, Brady Tkachuk. Oh, and a Lafreniere credentials, number to 499. Okay, there we go. The numbering's on the front, I guess. There you go, Lafreniere and Brady Tkachuk. Numbered one. Let's see if we get a shorter print at least. How many of you guys remember these cards from back then? All right, Andrei Svechnikov and another numbered one, gold out of 50. What is this? Gold Essential Credentials. Philip Forsberg for the Preds, 44 out of 50. Nashville. Philippe Forsberg out of 50. Shorter print card, but let's get an autograph. Let's get an auto. All right, we have Claude Giroux for Ottawa. And then we have a reverberation, Nathan McKinnon. That guy's just getting weirder for reverberation. What that is. All right, next. Nick Suzuki for Montreal. And we get another gold all access. 5 out of 10. Nice one for Calgary. Dustin Wolf. Who has Calgary? It's Sean. There you go, Sean. 5 out of 10. Beautiful hit. Nice one. Five out of 10. Dustin Wolf having a good year, by the way. An amazing. Dustin. All right, next. All right, we got Mikko Rantanen for Colorado. A lot of Colorado hits this. And a Marco Kasper. Two base cards. Marco Kasper. Or one's a rookie, actually. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. My first time ripping this stuff. So, all right, next. Jake Ottinger for Dallas, and then Drew Hellison. I guess, yeah, it's a rookie. That's what it is. Drew Hellison for the Ducks. Let's get a Bedard. Come on, Bedard. Where you at? Put a blocker behind the card. Would that help? Hold on, let me find a blocker. Do you see something different with a blocker behind it? Something different on the back? Sorry. Anything? I see a sky. That's cool. All right, we got Austin Matthews and Elise Pettersson, star date 3000. Vancouver. The blocker does, okay. Is it the sky part you're talking about when you put a blocker behind it? Hey, I'm not sure what's going on. Or will it say like rookie sometimes if you put a blocker in the back, like in the background there? I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep it going. See what's up. Who we have here? All right, Quentin Byfield for LA, and a Luke Hughes. So that's a rookie, right? Luke Hughes. What happens? See the sky. That's cool. Cool without it. Nice. That's cool. Nice one, Gary. Thanks for showing me that. Next. John Tavares and Connor Zary. Calgary and Toronto on that one. At least we're not seeing too many more die cuts. Right, Matt Barzal for the Islanders, and then Owen Beck, so that's another rookie. They're all Islanders. So far, I'm not really too impressed. All right, there's Quinn Hughes, Vancouver, and Yuri Kulich, so that's another rookie for the Sabres. Back, we got Philip Forsberg and Justin Sordiff, so that's another rookie for the Panthers. All right, there's Rob Thomas for the Blues, and then we got Miloš Kelemen, so that's another rookie going to Arizona, Utah. Excuse me, jeez. We have Joe Pavelski, Tyson Forster. Tyson Forster for the Flyers, that is. Oh. All right, there's Sidney Crosby, and we got another Dustin Wolf rookie. Very nice. A couple of those. All right, 2 more packs. So I'm really not impressed with this stuff. Not impressed with this break, to be honest. All right, Dylan Larkin and Matthew Knies for Toronto. Skybox. Oh yeah, that's what it. Yeah, okay. I see where you're going at there with that, Kieran. All right, last pack. Looks like it's another insert. There's a Kessel ring and net assets. Jordan Binnington for the Blues. So honestly, like these 3 boxes are kind of poopy, to be honest. And I'm being nice. And besides the Dustin Wolf, out of 10, you know, we didn't really hit too much out of the Series 2 at all. We didn't get any pure Young Gun out of there, or high gloss or anything like that. So, I mean, it was crap. It wasn't that great. And the Skybox, I wasn't too impressed. Like I said, it's new stuff. Probably the last time they're ever going to have it out, to be honest. The inserts are kind of eh. I'm not really impressed. Not impressed at all. But sometimes you're going to get these guys. It's inevitable. We're just opening the boxes, right? But at the end of the day, we got to remember, Celebrini and Michkov are still live in the Series 2 case. And we've only gone through 4 boxes, guys. So we haven't pulled a Michkov regular Young Gun, nor we did a Celebrini yet. So 8 boxes still left in that case. I think Tepe's going to put up another 2. Premiere releases tomorrow, guys. I think Tempe just put up a break for that, so look out for it. These are one of the breaks we want to forget. 3 boxes were kind of horrid, so want to just get this one behind us, move on, pull some more Young Guns. But at the end of the day, guys, make sure I have your updated addresses, and I'll get these cards out to you guys probably tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, everybody.